Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Anna Lister, a legal consultant whose specialist subject is Chelsea Football Club in the Premier League. Arijit Goveyas, an IT lead. He'll be answering questions on the influential writer Franz Kafka. George Twigg, a clinical trials coordinator whose subject is Anglo-Saxon England. And Sharon Malley, a governance manager. Her subject, the singer and actor Harry Styles. The urge to compete is within us all. For some, it's a burning desire to come out on top, a competitive streak marbled in the bone. For others, yep, it would be nice to be victorious, but their lives don't depend on it. Well, guess the nature of a mastermind contender. Winning is all, so woe betide anyone or anything standing in the way. 2 minutes on a specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. And molehills, not mountains, for our merry band of quizzes. So, can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
Anna Lister.
Your occupation?
Legal consultant.
And your specialist subject?
Chelsea Football Club in the Premier League.
Yes, the Premier League history of the West London club. In 2 minutes, let's go. Chelsea won their first Premier League title in 2005, having appointed which manager in June of the previous year?
Jose Mourinho.
Yes, which player scored Chelsea's first Premier League goal in a 1-1 draw at home to Oldham Athletic in August 1992?
Mick Harford.
Yes. When Chelsea completed their title-winning campaign with an 8-0 victory over Wigan Athletic in May 2010, they became the first team to reach a century of goals in a Premier League season. How many goals did they score that season?
100.
No, 103. Which team were Chelsea's opponents when Gianluca Vialli scored the last 4 goals of a 6-0 away win in August 1997?
Barnsley.
Yes, which Argentine midfielder signed for Chelsea from Benfica in January 2023 for a reported £107 million?
Enzo Fernandez.
Yes, when Chelsea kept 25 clean sheets in the season that began in 2004, Petr Cech kept 24 of them, while the goalkeepers in the other match were Carlo Cudicini and which substitute goalkeeper?
Mark Bosnich.
No, Lenny Pidgley. In October 2008, Chelsea's 86-match unbeaten run at home in the Premier League was ended by which team who beat them 1-0 at Stamford Bridge?
Liverpool.
Yes, when Chelsea beat Aston Villa 8-0 in December 2012, it was the first time that 7 players from one team had scored in a Premier League game. Which player scored twice in that match?
Florent Malouda.
No, Ramirez. In a match against QPR in October 2011, Jose Bosingwa and Didier Drogba were both shown straight red cards by which referee?
Mark Clattenburg.
No, Chris Foy, when Chelsea became the first club in league history to field a starting 11 without any British players. Against Southampton in 1999, the lineup featured 8 European players, 2 South Americans, and which African player?
Babiora.
Yes. In 2000, Chelsea sold Torre Andre Flo to Rangers for £12 million, having signed him for just £300,000 from which Norwegian club 3 years earlier?
Brann.
It was Brann. So, Anna, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 7 points. And our next contender, please. Your name?
Arijit Goveyas.
Your occupation?
IT lead.
And your specialist subject?
Franz Kafka.
Prague-born author, widely regarded as one of the most important literary figures of the 20th century. In 2 minutes, let's go. What was the official name of the University of Prague, where Franz Kafka was a student in the German half of the institution from 1901 to 06?
Charles Ferdinand University.
Yes. What was the name of the lifelong friend whom Kafka first met in 1902 after attending his talk on the German philosophers Nietzsche and Schopenhauer?
Max Brod.
Yes. What intellectual figure from a well-to-do Jewish family ran the salon in Prague where Kafka attended discussions on the philosophies of Kant, Hegel and Brentano?
Yitzhak Lowy.
No, Berta Fanta. Of which French novelist whose work he greatly admired did Kafka write, "I always feel as though I were the author's spiritual son, albeit a weak and awkward one"?
Gustav Flaubert.
Yes, some of Kafka's earliest works were first published in what Munich-based literary and arts journal, which ceased publication in 1910?
Hyperion.
Yes. What was the name of Kafka's brother-in-law, the husband of his sister Ellie, who in 1911 made him the part owner of an asbestos factory?
Carl Herman.
Yes, Kafka's short story, The Hunter Gracchus, written between 1916 and 17, is set in which Italian town, then in the possession of Austria, which Kafka had twice visited?
Riva.
Yes. To whom did Kafka twice become engaged, despite his stated belief that my health is only just good enough for myself alone, not good enough for marriage, let alone fatherhood?
Felius Bauer.
Yes. Of which story, completed in a single night in September 1912, did Kafka write that it was only accomplished with a complete opening of body and soul?
The Judgment.
Yes, in July 1922, as his health deteriorated from tuberculosis, Kafka retired from the insurance company for which he'd worked for 14 years on a pension of how many crowns per month?
100.
No, 1,000. Kafka spent the last weeks of his life at the sanatorium of Dr. Hoffmann, in which village near Klosterneuburg in Lower Austria?
Saxony.
No, Kierling. Which of Kafka's posthumously published novels concludes with the line often translated into English as, "It was as if the shame could outlive him"?
The Trial.
Yes. Which of Kafka's stories was the first to be translated into Czech? I've started, so I'll finish. Appearing in the magazine Kamen in April 1920, in a translation by Milena Jesenska.
Metamorphosis.
No, it was The Stoker. And Arijit, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 9 points.
Thank you.
Our next contender, please. Your name?
George Twigg.
Your occupation?
Clinical Trials Coordinator.
And your specialist subject?
Anglo-Saxon England.
The lands ruled by Germanic-speaking peoples in the years between the collapse of Roman rule and the Norman conquest. In 2 minutes, let's go. Sussex, one of the 7 kingdoms of Anglo-Saxon England, was established by which ruler who, according to the historian Bede, was the first to hold overlordship of the Anglo-Saxon realms?
Aylmer.
Yes. Which king of Kent converted to Christianity after he received the mission of St. Augustine, who was sent by Pope Gregory the Great reputedly after an encounter with Anglo-Saxon slaves in Rome?
Ethelbert.
Yes. Oswald of Northumbria was defeated and killed by Penda of Mercia at which battle of the early 640s, traditionally said to have been fought near modern-day Oswestry?
Maserfelth.
Yes. Which 7th and 8th century sub-kingdom of Mercia formed the basis of the later Diocese of Worcester?
Whitcher.
Yes, at the Synod of Whitby, while St. Wilfrid presented the case for adopting the Roman method for dating the festival of Easter, which Bishop of Lindisfarne championed the Celtic method?
Coleman.
Yes. What name was given to the meeting point in Selwood Forest, where Alfred the Great rallied troops from Hampshire, Somerset and Wiltshire before his victory over the Danes at the Battle of Edington?
Egbert Stone.
Yes, which king of Northumbria, who died in AD 633, is associated with the palace and accompanying grandstand of Adgefrin near the modern-day village of Yevering?
Edwin.
Yes. What was the name of the alderman of Essex, immortalised in a poem, who, at the Battle of Maldon, led the defeated Anglo-Saxon forces against the Danes?
Bertnoth.
Yes. Which bishop, the brother of St. Chad, founded the chapel of St. Peter on the Wall at Bradwell-on-Sea in Essex, which survives to this day?
Ched.
Yes. The coin issued by Athelred II in 1009 was known as the Agnus Dei because it portrayed the Lamb of God on the obverse side. What creature was depicted on the reverse?
The Dove of Peace.
Yes, in 1065, Tostig Godwinson was replaced as Earl of Northumbria after a revolt against his rule by which nobleman, a son of the late Earl Alfgar of Mercia?
Morcar.
Yes. What was the regnal name and number of the ruler installed by the Danes as King of Mercia in AD 874?
Ceolwulf II.
Yes. In which city, founded by the Romans, was Edgar crowned by St. Dunstan? Study so finish. Crowned by St. Dunstan as King of the English in AD 973.
Bath.
It was Bath. George, no passes. You got them all right. 13 points. And our final contender, please. Your name?
Sharon Malley.
Your occupation?
Governance Manager.
And your specialist subject?
Harry Styles.
The singer and actor who rose to fame as a member of the chart-topping group One Direction. In 2 minutes, Let's go. When Harry Styles first auditioned in front of the judges on The X Factor in 2010, he performed an a cappella version of which song by Stevie Wonder?
Isn't she lovely?
Yes, in 2016, Styles signed to Columbia Records as a solo artist, releasing his music on which record label that he had started?
Erskine Records.
Yes, Styles gave the first television performance of Sign of the Times on an episode of the American show Saturday Night Live, in which he also appeared in a Celebrity Family Feud sketch impersonating which singer?
Mick Jagger.
Yes, which track on Styles' chart-topping 2022 album, Harry's House, features the lyrics, I could cook an egg on you?
Pass.
What unusual instrument is featured in Styles' song Canyon Moon after he travelled to Culver City, California to purchase it?
Dulcimer.
Yes, in the 2017 film Dunkirk, Styles plays an Allied soldier with what first name?
Alex.
Yes, which British personal stylist, described by Vogue as Styles' long-time fashion mastermind, has helped the singer create many of his subversive looks, including the single pearl earring and green nail polish worn at the 2019 Met Gala.
Harry Lambert.
Yes, what's the name of the luxury hotel and villa complex in Port Antonio, Jamaica, where Styles and his production team recorded part of his self-titled debut solo album?
G-Jam.
Yes, in 2021, Styles won his first Grammy Award for Best Pop Solo Performance for Watermelon Sugar and was nominated in the Best Music Video category at the same ceremony for which other song?
Fine Line.
No, Adore You. With which producer did Styles co-write the song Just a Little Bit of Your Heart for Ariana Grande?
Johan Lemoyne.
No, Johan Carlson. In what 2021 film does Styles appear in a mid-credit scene as the character Eros, also known as Star Fox?
Eternals.
Yes, in May 2017, Styles performed at West Hollywood's Troubadour Club with which special guest, bowing to her and telling the crowd this is going to be up there with one of the best nights of my life?
Stevie Nicks.
Yes, the music video for which song from his second solo album, Fine Line, features Styles and the actress Phoebe Waller-Bridge performing a synchronized dance routine.
Treat People with Kindness.
Yes, it was Treat People with Kindness. Sharon, you had just the one pass. The track on Styles' chart-topping 2022 album, Harry's House, featuring the lyrics, I could cook an egg on you, music for a sushi restaurant. Yeah, you knew that. And at the end of the round, Sharon, you've got 10 points.
Thank you.
And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 7 points sits Anna. In third place with 9 points is Arijit. In second place with 10 points it's Sharon. And in first place with 13 points it's George. So now, the general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Anna to join us again, please. Anna, you start with 7 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What's the usual word for a holiday taken by a couple who have just got married?
Honeymoon.
Yes. A cruciverbalist is a person who compiles or solves what type of puzzle, commonly printed in newspapers?
Crossword.
Yes. A television series first shown in 2006, presented by Gok Wan, is entitled How to Look Good What?
Naked.
Yes. What's the surname of the former UK Prime Minister who was born in 1966 and given the forenames David William Donald?
Cameron.
Yes. The character Holly Golightly is introduced in which novel by Truman Capote?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes. Which singer's Grammy Award-winning 1995 UK #1 album, Jagged Little Pill, features the hit singles You Ought to Know, Hand in My Pocket and Ironic?
Alanis Morissette.
Yes. What name is given to a straight line that connects any 2 points on the circumference of a circle?
A chord.
Yes. The huge glass and iron structure known as the Crystal Palace, which was built for the 1851 Great Exhibition, was designed by which landscape gardener and architect?
Foster.
No, Joseph Paxton. In a common abbreviation for an item of clothing, the letters LBD are usually taken to stand for little what?
Black dress.
Yes. What name, derived from a Greek word for an outer covering or shell, is given collectively to the sepals of a flower, the leaf-like structures that enclose and protect the unopened bud?
Petals.
No, calyx. Lanzarote is a popular tourist destination in which Spanish island group off the northwest coast of Africa?
Canaries.
Yes. Which Czech tennis player who died in 2017 won her only Grand Slam singles title when she beat Natalie Tozia in the 1998 final at Wimbledon?
Jana Novotná.
Yes. What classic cocktail, often served in a glass with a salt-encrusted rim, is usually made from tequila, orange liqueur, and lime or lemon juice?
Margarita.
Yes. In what film franchise does Brendan Fraser play the adventurer Rick O'Connell in a series of action dramas released from 1999 to 2008?
Pass.
What two-word Latin term is used to refer to the stiffening of a corpse that sets in after death?
Rigor mortis.
Yes, in English folklore, the outlaw Robin Hood was said to be accompanied by a band of merry men and a woman known by what name?
Lucy.
Who made Marion? What's the original French title of the third movement? I've started, so I'll finish. Of the third movement of the Suite Bergamasque, written for piano by Claude Debussy and known in English as Moonlight.
Claire de Lune.
It is Claire de Lune. Anna, you had just the one pass. That film franchise starring Brendan Fraser is The Mummy.
Of course, yeah.
Of course. Oh. At the end of that round, Anna, you've got a total of 20 points.
Thank you.
And next up, let's have Arijit. Arijit, you start with 9 points. The score to beat as it stands is 20 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What's the usual name for a pedalled vehicle with 3 wheels?
Tricycle.
Yes, what term used in Italian both as a greeting and to say goodbye is derived from a dialect word for servant?
Ciao.
Yes, in the 1970s American television detective series Starsky and Hutch, which actor plays Hutch?
Pass.
What's the 3-letter name for the flat-topped, brimless, tasseled hat sometimes called a tarbouche?
Fez.
Yes, in Norse mythology, the 2 ravens known as Hugin and Munin, or thought and memory, are messengers for which god?
Odin.
Yes, which rock opera written by Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber features the songs Gethsemane and I Don't Know How to Love Him?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes, which fictional creatures created by Elizabeth Beresford are all named after geographic locations or features because they were allowed to choose their own names from an old atlas?
Muppets.
No, the Wombles, the Karakum Desert, occupies about 70% of the land area of which country, a former Soviet republic in Central Asia?
Kazakhstan.
No, Turkmenistan. What 1990 film stars Demi Moore as Molly, an artist, with Patrick Swayze as Sam, a banker who is murdered by a corrupt business partner?
Ghost.
Yes. What name for the garden in ancient Athens adjacent to a temple of Apollo has subsequently been used for certain educational institutions and for a famous theatre in London's Covent Garden?
Elysium.
No, Lyceum. A song entitled The A-Team, which reached number 3 in the UK in 2011, was the debut single of which British singer?
Ed Sheeran.
Yes, what pair of triangular glands in the human body are sometimes called the suprarenal glands?
Adrenal.
Yes, the famous drawing by Leonardo da Vinci known as Vitruvian Man depicts a human figure who appears to have how many limbs?
12.
No, 8. The religious leader Siddhartha Gautama, born around the 6th century BC, is better known by what title, which can be translated from Sanskrit as the Enlightened One?
Buddha.
Yes. In horse racing, which one of the 5 English classics is traditionally run at Doncaster?
Cheltenham.
No, St. Leger. Which gaseous element has the chemical symbol Kr and is used commercially to fill fluorescent lights?
Krypton.
Yes. Which Oscar-winning American film star is the mother of the actress Kate Hudson?
Goldie Hawn.
Yes, the thick jelly preserve known by the Spanish name membrillo, which is often served in cubes or slices with cheese, is made from what fruit?
Pear.
No, quince. What word derived from an old French term meaning earth dog is applied to various breeds of dog that were originally used to hunt animals living underground?
Terrier.
It is, the terrier. So, Arijit, you had just the one pass. The actor who plays Hutch in Starsky and Hutch, David Soul. So at the end of that round, you've got 21 points.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Sharon. Sharon, you start with 10 points, the score to beat as it stands, 21 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The low-value coins in general circulation in the UK, known as coppers, are the penny and what other denomination?
2p.
Yes, a person who is able to identify any musical note by name after hearing it without reference to another note is said to have absolute or perfect what?
Pitch.
Yes, what plant, noted for its white berries, has the scientific name Viscum album?
Mistletoe.
Yes, which former England footballer was crowned Queen of the Jungle after winning the 2022 series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here?
Hope so, though.
No, Jill Scott. Which day of the week is known in Spanish as martes?
Monday.
No, Tuesday. Dustin Hoffman won his first Best Actor Oscar for his performance as one of the title characters in what 1979 film?
Kramer versus Kramer.
Yes, the first railway to use steam trains to transport passengers was opened in 1825 and was named after Stockton and what nearby town?
Teesside.
No, Darlington. What's the name of the biennial men's golf tournament? First held in Virginia in 1994, contested between a team from the United States and a non-European international team.
Davis Cup.
No, President's Cup. According to the rhyming title of a children's picture book by Dr. Seuss, what type of reptile is Yertle?
Turtle.
Yes. Which ancient Mesopotamian empire, famed for its ruthless use of military power, fell into decline following the destruction of its principal city, Nineveh, in 612 BC?
Mongols.
No, Assyrian Empire. The hip-hop artist and DJ, Joseph Sadler, who had a UK hit single in the 1980s with The Message, is known professionally as Grandmaster what?
Flash.
Yes. Which compass point is at the bearing of 90 degrees clockwise from north?
East.
Yes. Who resigned as the leader of the Liberal Democrats shortly after the 2017 general election, citing the clash of interest between his Christian beliefs and the demands of political party leadership?
Charles Kennedy.
No, Tim Farron. The processing power of a computer is often measured in terms of floating point operations per second, a term usually known by what acronym?
FTTP.
No, flops. What term from the Greek for many-angled is used in geometry for any two-dimensional figure with straight sides?
Plane.
No, polygon. La Gazza Ladra is the Italian title of which 1817 opera by Rossini?
Pass.
What French name is given to a small round bun of choux pastry typically filled with whipped cream and served with a chocolate sauce?
Profiterole.
Yes, it's profiterole. Sharon, just a one pass. La Gazza Ladra is the Italian name of Rossini's opera, The Thieving Magpie. And at the end of that round, Sharon, you've got 18 points.
Thank you very much.
And finally, let's have George again, please. So, George, you start with 13 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Arijit's 21 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. When used as a title, the letters SGT are an abbreviation for what rank in the police force or armed services?
Sergeant.
Yes, in painting, shades of brown are produced by adding green to what primary colour?
Yellow.
No, red. The Oscar-winning 2022 film subtitled The Way of Water is a sequel to what 2009 science fiction film?
Avatar.
Yes. What device made for outdoor use indicates the time of day according to the position of shadows cast by an upright onto a flat disc, similar to a clock face?
Sundial.
Yes. The comic character said to be the fastest boy in the world, who first appeared in The Beano in 1964, is called Billy what?
Whiz.
Yes. What Latin word meaning view is used in English for a document or brochure that provides details of courses at a college or university?
Prospectus.
Yes. Which American rapper reached #4 in the UK albums chart in 2009 with the third album in his Blueprint series?
50 Cent.
No, Jay-Z. The best-selling romance novels of which British author include Me Before You, The Girl You Left Behind and Someone Else's Shoes?
Marion Keys.
No, Jojo Moyes. In cricket, England won the T20 World Cup in 2022, beating which country in the final?
Australia.
No, Pakistan. What musical that premiered off-Broadway in 1982 features a man eating plant called Audrey 2?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes. What Italian word for seashore is used as a name for the Mediterranean coastline between Cannes in France and La Spezia in Italy, and can now also refer to any coastal region with a mild climate and numerous holiday resorts?
La Sure.
No, Riviera. In the children's television series Postman Pat, what's Pat's surname?
Johnson?
No, Clifton. What word follows tufted, ruddy, and muscovy in the common names of 3 species of waterbird?
Fowl?
No, duck. What's the regnal name of the King of the Belgians who succeeded in 2013 after the abdication of his father, King Albert II?
Albert III?
No, Philippe. In maths, any positive or negative number raised to the power of 0 gives what solution?
1.
Yes. What vegetable is the main ingredient of the Swiss dish rosti?
Potato?
Yes, the main island of the Outer Hebrides is divided into a southern part called Harris and a larger northern part known by what name?
Sky?
No, Lewis. What was the first name of the German industrialist who is the subject of the 1982 book Schindler's Ark and the 1993 film Schindler's List?
Oscar?
Yes, what's the term for an actor who learns the parts of other actors in a play in order to stand in should one of them fall ill or be unable to perform?
Understudy?
It is understudy. So, at the end of that round, George, no passes, and you've done it. You've got a total of 23 points.
Thank you.
So, let's have a look at the final scores, and it was a close one. In 4th place with 18 points, it's Sharon. In 3rd place with 20 points, it's Anna. In 2nd place with 21 points, Arijit, but out in front. In 1st place with 23 points, it's George, which means he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind. And you can follow us as ever at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
So I've now done what I've been told is called the Quizzy Monday hat trick. So University Challenge, Only Connect, and Mastermind. University Challenge, I got to the 2nd round, Only Connect the quarterfinals, and now the Mastermind semis. The way Mastermind differs from the other quiz shows I've been on is because the other ones I was on as part of a team, and it's the first time I've actually been on a quiz as an individual, so there's nowhere to hide for me. I kept telling myself, it's just a chair, it's just like the one you've got at home, it's just a chair, but when you're up there, all those thoughts go out of your head.
Your name?
George Twigg.
Your occupation?
Clinical Trials Coordinator.
And your specialist subject?
Anglo-Saxon England. Yeah, I got every question right in my specialist subject round, which I wasn't really expecting. I thought that at least one thing would trip me up. Hope Alfred the Great would be proud of me.
No passes. You got them all right. 13 points.
I'm sure the other members of my quiz team will be very happy for me that I've got through. They will also definitely be ribbing me about getting the cricket question wrong. England
won the T20 World Cup in 2022, beating which country in the final?
Australia?
No, Pakistan.
So, yeah, won the heat, going forward to the semi-finals. So I guess the revision starts now. I might give myself a weekend off, but yeah, it's back in the mind, Jim.